Abingdon, also known as Abingdon-on-Thames or Abingdon-on-Thames, is a market town and civil parish in England. Historically, it was the county town of Berkshire, but it has been in the administrative county of Oxfordshire since 1974. The 2011 census recorded the parish's population as 33,130. This is 2,504 more than in the 2001 census total of 30,626, and represents just over 8% growth in the population. Geography and transport: Abingdon is 5½ miles, 9 kilometers, south of Oxford and 5 miles, 8 kilometers, north of Didcot in the flat valley of the Thames on its west, right, bank, where the small River Och flows in from the Vale of White Horse. It is on the A415 between Witney and Dorchester, adjacent to the A34 trunk road, linking it with the M4 and M40 motorways. The B4017 and A4183 also link the town, both being part of the old A34 and often heavily congested. Local bus services to Oxford and the surrounding areas are run by Stagecoach Oxfordshire, Thames Travel, the Oxford Bus Company and smaller independent companies. Abingdon has no rail service. The small, primarily stopping service, stations at Culham and Radley are both just over 2 miles, 3.2 kilometers, away. Abingdon's Eastern Ring Road and newest suburbs are under a mile, which is connected by footpath and cycleway from Radley Station. The Radley to Abingdon Station branch line closed to passengers in 1963. The nearest major stations with taxi ranks are Oxford, 8 miles/13 kilometers, and Didcot Parkway, 7 miles/11 kilometers. All are managed by First Great Western. Frequent express buses operate between Oxford Station and Abingdon. Archaeology and history: a Neolithic stone hand axe was found at Abingdon. Petrological analysis in 1940 identified the stone as epidotized tuff from Stake Pass in the Lake District, 250 miles, 400 kilometers, to the north. Stone axes from the same source have been found at Sutton Courtenay, Alvescott, Cancott and Minster Lawville. Abingdon has been occupied from the early to Middle Iron Age and the remains of a Late Iron Age defensive enclosure, or oppidum, lies below the town centre. The oppidum was in use throughout the Roman occupation. Abingdon Abbey was founded in Saxon times, possibly around AD 676. But its early history is confused by numerous legends, invented to raise its status and explain the place name. The name seems to mean hill of a man named Abba, or a woman named Abby, possibly the saint to whom Street Abbey's church in Oxford was dedicated, Abbey of Coldingham or a different Abbey of Oxford. However, Abingdon stands in a valley and not on a hill. It is thought that the name was first given to a place on Boar's Hill above Chilswell, and the name was transferred to its present site when the abbey was moved. In 1084, William the Conqueror celebrated Easter at the abbey and then left his son, the future Henry I, to be educated there. In the 13th and 14th centuries, Abingdon was a flourishing agricultural center with an extensive trade in wool and a famous weaving and clothing manufacturing industry. The abbot seems to have held a market from very early times, and charters for the holding of markets and fairs were granted by various sovereigns, from Edward I to George II. In 1337 there was a famous riot and protest at the abbot's control of this market, in which several of the monks were killed. After the abbey's dissolution in 1538, the town sank into decay and, in 1556, upon receiving a representation of its pitiable condition, Mary I granted a charter establishing a mayor, 2 bailiffs, 12 chief burgesses and 16 secondary burgesses, the mayor to be clerk of the market, coroner and a justice of the peace. The present Christ's Hospital originally belonged to the Guild of the Holy Cross, on the dissolution of which Edward VI founded the almshouses instead, under its present name. The council was empowered to elect one burgess to Parliament, and this right continued until the Redistribution of Seats Act of 1885. A town clerk and other officers were appointed and the town boundaries described in great detail. Later charters, from Elizabeth I, James I, James II, George II and George III, made no considerable change. James II changed the style of the corporation to that of a mayor, 12 aldermen and 12 burgesses. In 1790 Abingdon Lock was built, replacing navigation to the town via the Swift Ditch. In 1810, the Wilts and Brookes Canal opened, linking Abingdon with Symington on the Kennet and Avon Canal. Abingdon became a key link between major industrial centres such as Bristol, London, Birmingham and the Black Country. In 1856 the Abingdon Railway opened, linking the town with the Great Western Railway at Radley. The Wilts and Brookes Canal was abandoned in 1906, but a voluntary trust is now working to restore and reopen it. Abingdon Railway Station was closed to passengers in September 1963. The line remained open for freight until 1984, including serving the MG car factory, which opened in 1929 and closed in October 1980 as part of a British Leyland rationalisation plan. The nearest railway station is Radley, 2 miles, 3 kilometres, away. Abingdon was served by a branch line, but the line and Abingdon Railway Station were closed in 1963. Much of the original Abingdon branch line is now a cycle path, whilst the land on which the station stood has been extensively redeveloped, and is now the site of a large Waitrose store and surrounded by a large number of new flats and houses. Abingdon became the county town of Berkshire sometime after receiving its royal charter in 1556. Assize courts were held in Abingdon from 1570, but in the 17th century it was vying with Reading for county town status. The county hall and courthouse were built between 1678 and 1682, to assert this status. The building, now the Abingdon County Hall Museum, was reputedly designed by Christopher Kempster, who worked with Sir Christopher Wren. However, Abingdon's failure to engage fully with the railway revolution, accepting only a branch line, citation needed, sidelined the town in favour of Reading, which became the county town in 1869. The corporation was reformed, under the Municipal Reform Act 1835 and was abolished under the Local Government Act 1972. In 1974, under local government reorganisation, Abingdon became part of the non-metropolitan Shire County of Oxfordshire and the seat of the new Vale of Whitehorse District Council, with Abingdon becoming a civil parish with a town council. Since the 1980s, Abingdon has played host to a number of information communication companies, with many based in the town's respective business and science parks. With this, and the result of Abingdon's proximity to academic and scientific institutions in Oxford, the town has seen an influx of young professionals taking residence in the town's many residential areas such as Peachcroft. Local councillors voted in November 2011 to rename the town back to its former name of Abingdon-on-Thames, though this would need approval from the Vale of Whitehorse Council. This approval was granted on February 23, 2012.